How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Kevin with us, which is the founder of the Johnson Leadership Group. So, Kevin, tell us, what are the 5 steps to achieve your first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, I'm glad you asked the question around 5. The first thing that comes to mind is being persistent. Being persistent, moving forward, continuing to go, don't give up. Then number 2, that requires patience, because it may not come quickly, it may not come as fast as we expect, but with persistence, accompanied by patience, eventually you'll get there. Third way is network. I encourage all entrepreneurs to go to networking events, both in person and virtual. Do that frequently, not every day, not necessarily every week, but do it frequently, because that generates number 4, relationships. People want to work with you because you present yourself as friendly and approachable and someone that they're comfortable with. That has a lot to do with helping us to get to our million. And then number 5, after being persistent, after demonstrating some patience, after networking and building relationships, number 5 is to dream big. Make sure that in order for your dream to become a reality, it has to first be a blueprint in your mind, and never take your eyes off of the prize. So if you combine those 3 things, Harry, I believe that all entrepreneurs are on their way to making 7 figures and beyond. Take it step by step, but don't give up. Keep pressing forward.
Kevin, let's talk about the role of leadership in the entrepreneurs, because for our audience, they're trying to build the company, they're trying to grow the business, but some of them haven't realized yet that, in this very broadcast, we have interviewed so far over 500 multimillionaires. And when I asked him, some of them, if you start to do all over again, what was the thing that you will do it again better? And a lot of people are telling me Harry, culture. When I started my business, if I knew that it's gonna be 100 times harder than I thought, it's gonna be take me 100 times longer than I thought. Maybe I will approach the culture different, and I will show up myself not as a owner, but as a leader, to inspire them and to generate leadership within themselves, which is building the culture of the company. So, what's your view on this, Kevin? I think that not only all the problems that we have in companies, I think that all the problems that we have around the world is because of lack of leadership. Yeah, that's why we have wars. That's why we have. You guys today have a very devices race going on today.
Yes. Yes.
That's why we are so split. And so, tell us, what are I have actually a program that calls Entrepreneurial Leaders. So let's talk about, do you believe, Kevin, that entrepreneurs needs to be leaders in order to grow the company? And what's your take on that?
Absolutely, they do, because leadership is all about interacting and working with people, right? Having good conversations, listening, understanding what makes them tick, what are their interests, what are their skills, what are their abilities, what are they really good at. That's really the heart and soul of what leadership is all about. So as an entrepreneur, someone who's running a business, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, we're always dealing with people. Stakeholders, customers, employees, 1099 contractors. And so people are always within our sphere of influence. And so it's very key and very important. And part of your question around this leadership issue that presents a lot of global problems that we have, well, all the evidence is very clear. There's a big gap between what people are looking for in leaders and what leaders are
100%.
actually delivering.
100%. I agree with you.
Yes. So education, development, that's all part of the journey. You said, you asked entrepreneurs, well, what should I have done, or what could I have done better? Well, I always tell people, taking time for personal and professional development ourselves, investing in education and learning about our craft is very, very helpful as we go forward. And that's also an extension of leadership, because we're always dealing with people, and it's very, very important to understand.
And now we're going to talk a little bit deeper about the leadership, because there is a concept that I want to discuss with you. Yeah. I love a topic. My organization, the name is Speakers and Leaders. So I love the topic of leadership a lot. Yeah. Especially because everybody wants to be speaker. Nobody wants to be a leader. Yeah. Everybody wants the glory, but no one to take the responsibility.
Right. They think speaking is easier than leadership.
But in order to become a great speaker, you have to be a leader. You have to be able to touch, move, and inspire the audience.
Yes. Yes.
I think that we are looking for the spotlight, for everybody clapping at us, from 2,000 people, for the moment of glory. Actually, we're not willing to do what type of person we have to become to make that to happen. And the type of person that we have to become is, and it's in business, probably in politics. Today's U.S. election, this shows about entrepreneurship, but it's showing up everywhere, right? Because there are some leaders that hold to a position of power, yeah. But the completely different is people who lead. And then in companies, you have two choices, yeah. There are some entrepreneurs out there, CEOs, that they hold to this company with that ego and the position of power. I am the boss. Everybody has to do what I say. And so the whole company, the whole purpose of the company is to feed the ego and to feed that persona that he created, and needs a lot of people to validate that he's good. And this is how the company is structured. Yeah. The other type of company is the company like my one at the beginning, where when I started to hire the employees, they were all so better than me and everything, that one day I arrived to the office and they told me, Harry, we don't need you. Go home. We can run this company without you. And I realized that type of by accident, I didn't generate employees. I generate leaders within the organization, to the point that they sent me home. They tell me, we take leadership and responsibility for this company. We take responsibility for everything. We can actually run this without you, Harry. We don't need you. Most of them were women, by the way, right? And the first day that I feel like that, it was a little bit strange. I was thinking, did I do a good thing here or a bad thing here? Did I get sacked from my own company? This is a bad thing. And after reflecting a little bit, Kevin, I realized that this is good, that this is amazing. That what if you can start from a leadership position and you can touch and inspire the people in your organization, they can continue become leaders themselves, yeah? And they actually don't need you anymore. You become obsolete in your own organization because you prepared those people. But for that, you have to give up your ego. You have to be okay saying that people are better than you. And I think this is where we find the conflict, Kevin, between leaders and people who want to lead. So what's your view on this? It's happening in politics also.
It has a lot to do, Harry, with men and women who are in leadership positions, who are equipped and developed to be there, and those who aren't. Because again, we may have the title and we may have the position, and people know that you're an authority. So you don't have to remind them that you have the power and you have the authority. But if you do, then you're the type of leader that hasn't really been adequately prepared and developed for the role.
I agree 100%.
And if you come across as more authoritative and mandating and dictating and threatening versus asking or providing guidance
or enrolling,
exactly, it makes a big difference. And here's what's really interesting about it: the people that are following the difference as well, and they're the ones that are going to end up leaving. Because if you're not leading them well, if you're not providing resources, if you're not developing them, if you're not recommending training opportunities, if you're not delegating
and capacity for growth,
Over time, they're going to vote with their feet. In other words, they're going to leave and they're going to find a better opportunity. So
And
that's the
this is
difference between the
expensive.
two.
Now you start
Very,
to lose
very
a lot
expensive.
of money because now you need to
Very
hire people
expensive.
again, trade them again.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive exercise, right?
Absolutely. So our human resources professionals are doing us a great service by doing the work that they do to recruit the best and talented pool that's out there in the marketplace. And they bring them in and they interview them and they give them a thumbs up and they present an offer letter and they report to duty and they go through orientation and then they land on our team. And if we're not prepared as leaders to lead them, then eventually they're going to leave. And now our retention rates are out of whack. And our human resource professionals have to start the process all over again. So it's definitely a team sport. We all work together as a team, and having our leaders prepared and ready to receive these great candidates as they come in is going to help with our retention rates across the entire organization and across the entire marketplace. But leaders have to be taught, they have to be developed, they have to be trained. You can't just assume because someone is in a leadership position that they really understand the responsibility.
100%, Kevin. I agree with you that, we see this in the corporate world all the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That they give you a leadership position. I don't know. You start as a worker and then you did very good and then you become a manager and then they move you up the scales because of your results. Yes.
Yes.
However, you're now holding a leadership position and you haven't developed the skills yet that requires being a leader. And one of the most important is what we're discussing today. That
Exactly.
the point is not hold a position of power and make everybody to do what to say. This is the difference, the dictatorship, yeah. Like in Cuba, Moreno from Cuba, we have Fidel Castro, the leader that hold to the power and never give up to anyone, right? You guys,
Exactly.
you guys at least give it a chance to people every 4 years, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
everyone have the chance to lead the best they can, right?
Mm.
And if somebody lead effectively, you guys can give it another chance, but you don't give lifetime chance, right? Because the whole point of leadership is the leader has to develop the skill to generate new leaders.
That's it.
This is the whole role of the leadership. The leader is not there to hold a position of power and to everybody praise him that, oh, he's the best. Without him, nothing. If you check history, the greatest leader, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Gandhi, they were actually very humble people.
Very humble.
They
Very,
didn't have
very humble.
any ego-centric at all. Totally the opposite. They were working for the people. I think that the leadership, it means to serve, right? So they were serving the people, and they were so busy in that mission that they didn't even know how big they were and what type of influence they create, because they are not in this mindset like, I am this, and I'm big, and I'm that big persona. So I think that Kevin, and with companies, this is exactly the same thing, right? If you are an entrepreneur that you go with this mentality, like, I create this company, I know everything, everybody has to do what I say, I'm the boss here, and then you go to this company and you find all this friction around, that there is stress, that people leaving all the time, everybody's, you can feed that vibe because the leadership. So what can we do, Kevin, within organizations in order to incentivize and develop, because leadership also is not talent based, is a skill based. Basically, it's like driving or swimming. The more you practice, the better you become. You're not gonna learn this in a book. You learn this by practicing.
Absolutely.
And for me, for example, I nobody showed me how to be a leader. I remember when my company, and when they were coming to me, there were too many, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I had these people asking me all these questions. So I put a sign behind my desk. I said, don't come to ask me a question if you don't have 2 or 3 solutions. don't ask me because I don't know. Come with 3 solutions and let's see what happens. And then when they start to come with the 3 solutions with the question, then I ask them, okay, which one do you choose? What do you want me to choose? Choose whatever you think. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we have to do something else. It's not like Harry had to choose. Why I had to choose? You choose. That's okay. And the more control I release from myself and give it to them, which people say, oh, you're crazy. How are you going to give all this control to your team? Well, the more control and I release from myself and I give it to them, you know what? It was better. Because in fact, they were all better than me in all the specific in sales, marketing, whatever they were doing. But then people hold the position like, no, I have to tell you what choice to take. You have to take this one, and then people micromanage, and it doesn't work, right?
You were delegating responsibilities
by accident.
And when leaders delegate, given the example that you just gave, if they delegate with the intent of developing people, that's the heart and soul of what delegation is all about. So while other people were asking, are you crazy? You knew as a good leader that what I'm doing, I'm preparing and I'm equipping and I'm developing my team by delegating these key assignments to them. It's helping them to be great leaders as well. And that's very important. Now, the leader that wants to hold all the power to themselves won't do that. But leaders who are properly prepared and understand the power of the team, they get it and they know how to distribute the work to help build up their team to be the best that they can be, so that one day they can take over leadership when we move on. So that's really the heart and soul. If we delegate with the intent that we're really, really helping to build up our team and to develop the next generation of leaders, then delegation becomes one of our best friends.
So Kevin, why you decided to have a Johnson leadership? Why you so passionate about leadership?
So I work for
there are very few of us around the world. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to be a leader.
I know. So I worked for the federal government here in the United States for 34 years. And I was a frontline leader, a mid-level leader, and I was also a senior level leader.
Wow.
And throughout that entire time, I watched people, I watched teams, and I watched organizations thrive under good leadership. And I watched people, teams, and organizations dip because of bad leadership. And I was determined in my last
both faces,
Yep. In my last position as chief of staff before I retired, I determined that I wanted to do something about it. So I stood up the Johnson Leadership Group. That was 6 years ago. Wow. And we provide leadership development training and executive coaching. And we're helping organizations and teams and individuals to really understand what leadership is all about. All the strategies, all the principles, the nuggets, the tools, and the tips that go along with it. Somebody can be born a leader, but they still need to be cultivated. They still need to be
absolutely. It's a skill.
And trained. Yeah,
the more you practice, the better you become.
There you go. Practice makes perfect.
There is no way around the thing. Nobody. You don't born with this, yeah. The other day, I did my last workshop, Speakers and Leaders. We have the pleasure to have the son of Muhammad Ali, the boxer, with us, yeah. As one of our students, and he was talking about his dad, sharing with us some anecdotes, and he was, what he represented, the Black people or whatever he feels that he represented, it was more important for him, like actually boxing and the money that he was making. He was willing to die for it,
Wow.
And this is that type of character with that passion, he is creative, but he has to say it again and again and again and again and again. The personality, the leader grew. And it's not the same when you listen to speaking to him at the very early, that actually more furthering in his career. So at the end, I agree with you that companies can achieve amazing results or can literally die just because the leadership not only from the CEO, but also because of the structures as well. And
Absolutely.
it come to the same thing. It's come to what you were sharing, Kevin, like to be approachable, yeah, to have this mind open, to have this humbleness, to try to work together as a team, yeah, and to get rid of this mentality which is very toxic. I know better, and especially in corporate, we do a lot of corporate training as well, and we find out, there are some organizations that we go that, Kevin, they are like 30,000 liter boats, yeah. The leadership is so well articulated, and they are talking in their vertical orientation, but also they have horizontal. So the department talk to each other, and they communicate between themselves. And what happened, the organization looked like 300-liter boats that if the liter boat, then the CEO is in the first one, and the CEO said, turn right. Now the 3,000 boat turn right quickly. The response changed really fast. Where we have the other organizations that they are only rigid vertical structures, and departments don't talk among themselves. And these organizations are like a big Titanic. So when you have to turn right, you have to turn this huge.
Oh, yeah.
And it moves so slow.
Takes a long time.
That you open your eyes, we're out of business. The response to change is key in order to survive in business. And the big organizations, Kevin, they some of them are not putting the effort that is required to create this leadership and this communication, vertical as well as horizontal. So what is your view on this? And how important, in your opinion, is to respond to change in order to stay in business?
Well, I tell you what, the only thing constant is change. So you have to go with it, right? It happens all the time, whether it's technology or a new trend or something socially or economically, weather. I mean, all of these factors are always happening and always going on around us. So we always have to be ready to be flexible and to be adaptable and to be resilient with whatever comes our way. And that's
to
the heart
respond
and
to change
soul.
fast, right?
Changes very fast. So here in our country, as you mentioned, today is election day, and whoever is elected our next president, there's going to be change.
Absolutely. And some business, they have to
And
move
and it's
fast.
and it's going to filter,
Around.
it's going to filter all the way down to us, and we have to be resilient, and we have to be transformative in terms of how we think and how we move and how we operate in order to stay afloat. So everything around us changes all the time. So you can't have the mindset that it's going to always be this way, because that's just not going to happen. And so just having the mindset, and then having the heart, and then having the ability to be able to shift when needed, because it's going to happen, but in a very positive way, where we're making a positive impact and not a negative impact. And that's really what's key.
Yeah. I think, the politics here in United Kingdom, when you ask them, yeah, about the politics and leadership, yeah, they say, no, Churchill was the leader, the rest, they're just politicians, right? Do you think that politicians can become a great leaders and make actually a huge change in society? Or some people are just giving up because of the this type of leaders are not around anymore? Do you think that this statement is true? Because we have leaders in the past. We have Martin Luther King, we have Muhammad Ali, we have Churchill in United Kingdom that wins the Germans. We have United States, even Kennedy. We have any great politicians that have been leaders that actually are not politicians and figures, yeah. Like Oprah, for example, very powerful, that have been a contribution to society. But we see more entrepreneurs becoming leaders and making more positive change to society than actually politicians. Do you think that it's possible also generate good leaders as a politician that can stop this division that we have in US, also in UK as well, in all over the world? we still divided when we are just one human race.
Yeah. So my thought, Harry, in terms of answering your question, regardless of our vocation, whether we are finance, whether we're a medical doctor, a construction worker, a ditch digger, a politician, whatever our vocation, each and every one of us as a leader has a responsibility to be the leader that we want others to be ultimately, because everyone's watching. Yeah, they listen to what we have to say, but ultimately they're watching.
Absolutely. They see what you do.
There you
Lead by
go.
example, yeah.
That's it. That's it, right? And if we lead by example, and if we tell the truth, and if we're men and women of character and integrity, and we display ethical behavior, that's what people see as an extension of our leadership, then what we're doing is we're demonstrating what we want others to do as well. And that's the key, regardless of your vocation. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I've been telling people that for years. Now, we do have some politicians that follow that model, and we have some politicians that don't.
Absolutely.
So yeah, absolutely we do. So when I watch it, what's going on around the entire globe, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, the Pacific Rim, North America, Africa, the Caribbean, when I'm always watching what's going on around the world, I'm always looking for those good leaders that have a voice behind a mic. And I'm like, that's very refreshing. And I do see them. They don't always necessarily have the biggest voice, but they are there, and that's always very refreshing.
Yeah, and then the other thing about leadership, Kevin, you can be a leader in your own community. You can be a leader for your family. You could be
Yes.
no, as long as you have you chip in some form, wherever you are, it's gonna be very good for your community, for your family, for your business. If you're in politics, for your political party. But again, Kevin, I always said to my students, don't listen too much what I said. Keep on eye what I do. Do what I
Yes.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's gonna give you more ahead. Look what I'm doing and try to do it for your business and you will see.
I like that, Harry. Yes.
So Kevin, tell us a little bit more if is someone listening this podcast, they're leading a corporate organization and they are hearing your approach, how these people come from you, how the process works.
Well, again, the name of the company is the Johnson Leadership Group, and our website is www.thejohnsonleadershipgroup. And my email address is kevin@thejohnsonleadershipgroup.com. We offer a number of topics: curriculum, influence, conflict management, growth, communication, developing the leader within you, how to lead through crisis. We also have complementary leadership assessments, DISC, emotional intelligence, leadership 360, that complement the training as well. And then in addition to all of that, the executive coaching, where the coach walks alongside that person as it relates to their personal and professional development. So whether it's a one-day training, a half-a-day training, a full week, we always tailor all of our training to the need of that organization. We never assume that we know what you need, but we always listen with an open ear and an open heart and an open mind in terms of what you need. And our team we're certified, we're credentialed in the marketplace, and we'd love the opportunity to work with you. Absolutely.
And Kevin, how many employees need to have the organization? Do you have
that includes me as well. I'm one of the 10, and all of us love what we do.
Oh, it's a big team, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We will make sure that we are always available to meet the needs of the clients and customers that we serve. So that's why I can lean on 9 other men and women who are very, very experienced, 25 plus years experience, everybody on the team, to be able to meet the needs of our customers and clients.
Tell us about this journey, after so many years that you work for the federal, which, for the federal, I mean, you have safe job, yeah? and when you have the federal in United States, like you have secure job, they you never lose your job, and they pay you well and so on. So what was the change from that comfortable life that you have from your favorite job position? Now you make a big change. You're not doing that anymore, which is you're safe and comfortable. Yeah. Now you decide to jump to open a leadership business, the leadership training business, which is the riskiest thing because nobody wants to do it. So, and now you have a team of 10, which definitely, with this company that you have now, you're never going to be bored. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
And there's excitement every day. I'm busy every day. So tell us how has been the transition. You really are passionate about this leadership that you want to take
Oh yeah. And that's it. That's
that
it, Harry.
role in
That's
your life, right?
Yeah, and that's why I answered your opening question the way that I did. Those top five things. I ended the dream. What is the dream and the goal,
Purpose.
aspiration
Yeah.
that you have, right? Your purpose, right? And what I do aligns with my to align myself and embrace men and women who want to be the best leader that they can be in their home and at work. So after my government career, I started my career right out of college. So 1 year out of college,
Wow.
and I was part of an intern program. There were only 25 across the entire country that were selected for this intern program. And I progressed pretty quickly in my first 5 years. I moved up really, really fast in my first 5 years.
Wow.
And I found myself at a mid-level leadership position pretty early, still in my 20s. And then
Wow.
I'm moving into my early 30s. And I had a chance to really experience a lot, travel the country, and did some other things as well. But it was very, very clear as a young man, Harry, clear to me what was happening to people who were being led by great leaders. They were optimistic, they had high self esteem, they felt confident, they had ingenuity, great ideas. But then I'm watching people that were being led by bosses who really weren't really prepared to be a leader. And they knew that they didn't necessarily want to do that. And I watched how it made people feel. And they shrunk back. They
That
didn't
is
get good
empowered.
assignments. They felt micromanaged. And I'm watching how this deals with people's physical and mental health. And I said, you know what, we can do better.
Yeah.
So when I got to the point where it's time for me to retire, I only took off 3 months, and then I stood up the company, and we've been going strong ever since. So
Wow.
it's been a great journey. What I do, I
I
encourage
can
all
tell.
entrepreneurs. You have to love what you do so
Yeah.
that you can work through the no's until you get the next yes. Because
And
you don't get yes every time. Yeah.
but then Kevin is that's one of the things that during conversation this belief every single we have in this world and every single problem that we have in our organizations in our business, this is the essence: lack of leadership.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eh,
Everything rises and falls on leadership.
Exactly.
Hmm.
People think no, the market is undercapitalized or bad market conditions, but they always give you the same excuses.
Hmm.
Undercapitalized, bad market conditions. So and that's what companies face.
Hmm.
But we've seen again and again companies great leaders that they have been all capitalized, that the market conditions have been terrible, and still they have thrived to success. And
Exactly.
so, what is the key? And then you find these people, Kevin, that exactly they are disempowered because of the position of leadership and the leadership people holding leadership positions, but they're not being trained or prepared or they don't have enough experience as a leader. Yeah. And this is a conflict because you might have all the knowledge, technical, to be in that position of leadership, yeah, in terms of your qualifications. But the leadership is completely different because you hold in a position where you have to enroll everyone, you have to have charisma, you have to have emotional intelligence, you have to empower them and enroll them in your idea in order so then like this they will work with sweat and tears, yeah, whether the other leaders that you were talking, they don't work just for the money. Okay, they don't care. Okay, I go I pay my money. Yeah. Even our team members, yeah, some of them have been working for years. Sometimes I ask them, I say, guys, why are you still around? I just don't get it. You have been working with us for so many years. With this CV, you go somewhere else and you say you work for Harry, they're gonna pay you a lot more. Why are you still around? And our team, they're always telling us, Harry, because we like to work with you.
There
And
you
we're
go.
happy with the money that we make. We know that's a simple reason that they give. They to come and work here because we give them challenge, give them space to grow. We treat them well. We listen to them. They are like, like part of family to us, and
Yeah,
they
that's good.
they don't want to to go somewhere else that pay them more and they don't feel that they feel here. So at the end of the day, you have to if you can create that between your employees, your suppliers, your clients, the people want come and work for you because they like to be there.
Hmm.
More than of course, everybody would like a raise and everybody like more money, but is that space for growth and space for development that actually what people are looking in the organizations. And as a leader, you have to be able to develop that. However, if as a leader you are insecure yourself and you have this limiting, you're not smart enough, and then you start to protect yourself, and then everybody has to do what you say, and you develop this authoritarian way of leadership. Then what happens? You're not gonna touch more and inspire. Then everybody start to work for the money. Then innovation, flexibility, all the things that are we talking about with fellow man. So Kevin, tell us the what are the biggest challenge that in companies out there and how you overcome that challenge?
The biggest challenge, at least in my humble opinion, Harry, has to do with entrepreneurs still not understanding the power of coming together to
Mhm.
collaborate and partner. That's still something that I'm working on with a few other companies that I'm doing business with, just getting them to understand it's very, very powerful when we come together. So what I'm doing to overcome it is just education and
Mhm.
heightening their level of awareness. And I'll an example. How productive is it for your company to go after a $5 million contract on your own versus going after that same
As a
$5 million
team.
contract and bring 3 or 4 other companies with you that have areas of expertise that you don't have?
Absolutely.
And but we still don't seem to get it, and we don't do it enough. And that's a big challenge. We could be doing so more to help these organizations, these companies, these nonprofits, these academic institutions. We could be doing so much more, government agencies, if more of us would just partner and collaborate and say, I don't need 100% of this contract, 25% will do, and just repeat that over and over again. And you're well on your way to earning 7 figures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Because in the with the Kevin, look, and the very simple, yeah. United we achieve more. Yeah. I always
yeah,
say, I'm originally from Cuba, yeah. And
yeah.
so what is the difference between Latin America and South America and the North America? Yeah. And the difference is only one. South America, yeah, we have all the countries, yeah. Bolivia, Argentina, Brazil, we have all the countries. So the difference between
Peru,
Peru,
Colombia,
Colombia,
Venezuela,
Venezuela,
Paraguay. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I know South
So you
America
have
very
you
well.
have all the South America, yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is only one, that in North America is what we have. We have something that we call United States.
Hmm.
The states are united, yeah.
Right,
So
right.
that's why you have more powerful country in the world. Where
Hmm.
we have divided states.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and then you become weakest and weakest. And so, in the end of the day, in business, the same thing. The
Hmm.
more you unite, the the more you unite the people, right? And with different companies, the more powerful become. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep,
Here in
I agree.
UK, here in UK, we have something that in precedent, they decide to leave the European Union, and it doesn't make any sense in terms of history. Why would you like to separate yourself of the whole union of Europe? That is a whole union, yeah, and somehow uh, this decision, which had been a very bad decision, have played consequences in the economy and the Great Britain and the development. Yeah, so whether we were better off, way better off when we were part of the union in terms of economy and like that. So the point of the story that when it comes to business, when it comes, the strategic partnership, if you have one of the fastest way to accelerate business like that, to find that a strategic partner that have your same client but it doesn't compete with you. Then you unite and then you go together, then you can have access a big contract. Everybody wins.
I agree. I totally agree. But that continues to be the obstacle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
On it though.
exactly. We have to keep working on it because we found one mission to develop leaders. Because
Yes.
the only way that we can have a better world is to keep developing leaders. And not
I
only
agree.
the C levels, also in the communities, in the ground floor, in these people that are on the ground, floors, or I don't know, doing cutting your hair or doing the small business jobs, yeah, in that community, or the charity works, yeah, the kids around the community. In all these places, also leadership training has to take place in order to generate these leaders on the ground, because it's the only way that we will be able to have a better world to live, hopefully with peace, yeah. And
Absolutely.
so we need more leaders. So I applaud Kevin
Thank
for
you. Thank you,
company.
Harry.
I applaud
Yes.
you for your leadership. I applaud you for create a company based on that. When we create these companies, speakers and leaders, I have a lot of people. Harry, you never make a lot of money with this. Yeah, you know that. I know that. Yeah, because they say, look, it's pure market size. Very few people want to be leaders. So very little you're gonna do. You're gonna reach it's mathematics, it's market size. I say, well, we're not doing for a financial incentives are not the biggest incentive. What we're doing is to try to create a legacy and to prepare the people for a better world, which is
That's it.
exactly, Kevin, what you're doing. You're clearly passionate about what you're doing. Your eyes shine. Yeah.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what is on the
Absolutely.
stake. So I applaud you for that. And let's make America great. They doing leaders. Yeah. By
That's right.
leaders from the top. This is what is gonna make America succeed. Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree, Harry. Totally agree.
It's all about leadership. Yeah. This doesn't matter who's left or right. It's all about generating those leaders. So we need more people than you training leaders over there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
Totally
you.
agree. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, and see you in for all of you following this Unstoppable podcast, see you in our next episode where brave entrepreneurs like Kevin break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.